looking up. No, because I'm depressed. It's the time that every Santa has a ball. No, I'm not going to meet Santa because I've got social anxiety. Santa baby. Do, 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 do. I've been a jolly good boy. Santa baby. Oh, hello Albie. This is the third year in a row that you've got in my Christmas videos. Do you know that? This is my handsome boy. And this is his Christmas jumper. It'll be lonely this Christmas without you to hold. He's not very well. He's been sick a few times, but he just wanted to flex his jumper. Yes. So, 'tis the season. This is the last Mental Health Mondays before Christmas, which means we're getting into 2022, which is wild. 'Tis the season to be jolly. 'Tis not the season to be jolly. Christmas and mental health do not go hand in hand. That is a problem. Also, just want to address, yes, I'm wearing red, well, almost red. And Santa hat for the second video running.
You're welcome.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new. I am in a different location today. I thought I'd get the Christmas tree involved because it's Christmas! Anyway, welcome to my channel. I'm Marie, I'm 21 years old, and I'm telling you that Christmas is not always the most fun time of year. You probably know that yourself if you've clicked on this video. You're not a Scrooge, you're not a Grinch, you're just struggling, and that's okay. I hope you've had a good lead up to Christmas, but if you haven't, then don't worry, because I'm going to be talking today about how to cope with your mental health at Christmas. So I asked on my Instagram for any questions about any like topics to discuss. So if you don't follow me on Instagram, hit me up on Instagram. That's where I'm most active. That's where I talk to you guys the most, like through DMs and like pictures and comments and stuff. So yeah, over on my Instagram, sorry, my brain is not with it today. I should have had red nails. I asked for topics to kind of discuss on my Instagram because I wanted to get a feel for what you felt at Christmas, because I know how I felt in the past, but I wanted to know how you felt, and you guys don't know. So I got about 500 responses and nearly all of them were on the same topic. I'm just gonna list what people said, and I just want you to know that if you're feeling this way, you are so not alone. The amount of comments I had which were exactly the same is like actually blew my mind, because I thought some people would be like quite light-hearted about it and think that it was quite a good thing, but majority of them were the pressure to be okay, and the pressure to be okay around extended family, feeling guilty for either not being happy or for the eating, feeling massive anxiety around the food aspect of Christmas, overwhelmed and stressed just in general, the lack of routine, and feeling lonely. My babes, I'm so sorry that you feel this way. I remember when I was younger, probably 4 years ago, I thought I ruined Christmas because I was actually in hospital at the time, and I'd got Christmas leave to go and have Christmas Day at home. And I'm not even joking, it was one of the hardest things, because pretending to be happy when you're not is so freaking difficult. Like, I don't think if if you are happy, like I'm not in a dark place anymore, but when I was last year and 4 years ago, pretending to be happy for a whole day is so difficult, especially around things like family and that, because you don't want to embarrass yourself, or you feel like you're going to embarrass yourself if you slip up or feel down. You feel like a burden on the rest of your family because you're not happy and you feel like you should be happy. You feel guilty and almost angry at yourself because you're like, why? Why can I not enjoy this one day a year? Like, brain, can you fuck off? But I tell you what, it doesn't really work like that. So we are going to talk today about some of the best ways I've found about dealing with struggles at Christmas. So today I'm gonna, so I've already rambled for 9 minutes. So the first thing I want you all to keep in mind this Christmas is that we are banning the word should. Should is not a word we are using this Christmas. I should have felt happy. I should have completed Christmas dinner. I should have not eaten that. I should have been happy. We're getting rid of it because this expectation is one of the reasons you're struggling so much. It's not Christmas Day in general. You can sit there and enjoy Christmas Day. I think it's the expectation that is the problem. Everyone expects Christmas to be this way or that way or perfect, or you know, everyone fakes getting along if you're in a broken family, or like there are problems over Christmas with extra extended family, or your family is just trying to be too perfect. This expectation is so damaging to people with mental health problems because you can't control your mental illness, and especially on pressurized days, they seem to like flare up even more. They're like, hey bitch, I'm out to party, I'm out to play. Who am I gonna fuck up first? It can be really difficult, and if we eliminate this pressure from ourselves, even if our family, our whole family is like, we've got this expectation of Christmas and how it's gonna be, if we ourselves are like, you know what, the only thing I need to accomplish, the only thing that I need to work towards is getting through the day, then that's that. Or even not getting through the day. Say, break it down into chunks, like get through the hour, get through Christmas dinner, get through the after bit. It can be broken down into tiny little things where we don't pressurize ourselves to feel like we should perform a certain way, because it's just a facade and it does not work. And I'll tell you what, other people can pick up on it too. So don't try and be anything that you're not, because it's okay to not feel okay at Christmas. I don't want you all to have to mask your emotions. So this is kind of a few tips that I've broken down. So I've got a few topics. I haven't even thought of any like solutions. Yeah, probably should have done that before, but you know what? I thought we could just work through them and like see what comes to my head, see what I would do in that situation. Not saying that I'm like prime example, like everybody look at me. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that I've been in that place and I'm not in that place anymore. So I can relate back to how it was, but I can also see it from a rational point of view and a way that is actually, what's the word? Like, it plays out. It will come to me. Achievable. Social anxiety at Christmas. It's really tough. It's really tough because, like I said before, it's a time where you're not just with your family. Normally you're with extended family and friends or people you don't really know but you kind of know, like they know your name, they know that you've grown so much but you don't know who the hell they are. So you feel this kind of expectation to be able to talk to them and be able to keep up a conversation and be able to be all happy and jolly, and that is so difficult with someone with anxiety. I just want to say, if you're dealing with social anxiety this Christmas, here are a few tips I can think of that may help you. So I think the first one would be, you have to accept that it's going to be You have to accept that it's going to be a daunting situation. When I was struggling with social anxiety around Christmas time, the best thing that I think helped me was thinking of topics beforehand that I could kind of mention to them. So say if a great aunt or something sparked up a conversation with me, I would already have topics in my head that I can speak about, and most of the topics were related to them, so that they spoke instead of me speaking. So for example, I'd be like, oh, like, when do you go back to work? And then they'd speak about work, and then you could literally just go on from there. It's having things in preparation that are gonna benefit you in the long run. Also, I wanna say, this is for every single one, it's okay to reach out at Christmas. You are not a burden if you're reaching out, if you're struggling at Christmas. And if you are struggling with social anxiety, go and take a break. That's what I did. I do that nearly every Christmas, just because I used to be very socially anxious, and I kind of wouldn't speak, but now it's not so much anxiety, but you get worn out. Like, Christmas is tiring. If you're really struggling with a mental illness and trying to mask that, it can be so difficult to handle. The next point that I was going to make is that you should have a plan B. So if things go wrong, have a plan B so that you know what you're going to do if, say, you have a panic attack. There are things put in place. So when I was out of hospital for the Christmas day, we'd already spoke about it with my parents, that if I needed to leave, I would text my mum that, like, I just wanted to leave, and we would leave at that point. There was no, like, qualms about it. There was no, oh, let's stay for another 20 minutes. It was, no, we're leaving at this point because I don't feel comfortable, I don't feel happy, I feel overwhelmed, and I feel stressed. And that was that. I think having a situation like that is so good. Like, last year, we had Christmas at my house, because we alternate between my aunt and uncle, my aunt and my mum every year. And you know, like the kind of lull after Christmas dinner where everyone's kind of like, filled my tummy. I went upstairs and, like, just kind of rejuvenated myself, made sure that I felt okay, like just rebooted myself, because I knew I was going to see the extended family in the evening, and I just felt quite, that's what I was talking about, I just felt quite overwhelmed. And that's okay, because taking time out does not make you a failure. It doesn't make you anything less than the person that you are. And it's important to remind yourself that this is only one day. And finally, actually, I just thought you could plan some breathing exercises. I know some people might roll their eyes at this shit, but breathing exercises really help. In for 4, no. In for 4, out for 6, in for 3, out for 5. That kind of, like, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. It can really help your physical symptoms of anxiety, what the fuck was that? Really help the physical symptoms of anxiety, which in turn will help your mental thoughts and behaviours. So, CBT babes. Eating. I got so many people saying that they're so anxious around food, they're getting stressed about it already, and I think eating is probably one of the most difficult times, because one of the most difficult things, because you're supposed to, like, indulge on Christmas Day, but if you have an eating disorder, your eating disorder will not let you do that, or it will let you indulge too much, and then you'll have to purge whatever you've eaten, and that's not what we want on Christmas Day. I think for this one, preparation is key. So if you can physically prepare dinner, that might help with your anxiety, because you can see what's going into the dinner, you can see how much of this is going in, how much of that is going in, and you can kind of plan your meal around that, but also vocally, like talk to someone about how you're feeling about eating Christmas dinner or eating, you know, eating or drinking in general on Christmas Day. It can be a really, really difficult time. I'm just thinking now, I also think that like when you're at the Christmas dinner table, maybe sit next to someone who can support you through the meal, because you don't want to make it a really, like, you're trying to keep this low key. I know everyone would be. They're not going to make a big storm out of this. They're going to try and they're going to want to enjoy Christmas dinner, but it just might not be able to happen. So if you can sit next to someone on Christmas who can kind of like encourage you through the food, encourage you through the drink and the dessert or whatever, then do that. And if you're really worried about Christmas dinner, I would say talk to the person who's making Christmas dinner and get them to like portion out your Christmas dinner with you, so you don't have to feel like they're going to give you a massive amount of food or like a too small amount of food. It's that way. I think if you're able to help portion it, you feel more in control, and thus your mentality will just be a lot calmer if you feel in control. I think also distraction with food is a really good thing. I remember when I was struggling with food this time last year, I made sure that I had something planned for after Christmas dinner, so I didn't have to think so much about what I'd eaten, or like I couldn't think about it too much because I was too busy, because I was already too busy in my activity that I was doing. Sorry, I cannot spit out my words. I was already like fully committed to the activity that I was doing, so it meant that I couldn't think so much about what I'd eaten. And I think that's a really good thing to do, because it's also like, it's benefiting you, but it's also benefiting your family because you're getting involved. And I think it comes across as, I think for yourself it comes across as like, I can cope with this, I'm okay, like it's fine. And even if Christmas is like a proper no-go, if Christmas dinner is just you cannot do it right now, have something safe planned already, because that way you won't feel guilty on Christmas Day. And I know I always say like you need to fight back about your mental illness, but sometimes you've actually got to give yourself time to think, am I able to actually do this? And if you're not, then plan something safe, make sure that people know, make sure that someone knows so they can support you, and just work through it that way. Try not to think about food and Christmas being like one big bundle together. It's Christmas Day with food on the side. Because they're not bundled together, it means that you can enjoy Christmas and the food is separate. Loneliness. This broke my heart really, actually. For a lot of people, they're talking about loneliness at Christmas. It really made me sad, because I've never ever had to struggle with being lonely at Christmas. I have a massive family, really, so I've always had someone to see, and I can't really put myself in the place of someone to feel lonely. But the only tips that I can kind of think of is do something you enjoy on that day. If you know that you're not going to have the perfect Christmas like everybody else, or you're going to be on your own, do the one thing that you enjoy. Do the things that you enjoy, even if they're not Christmas related, like even if they are literally like sitting in your room having a bath all day, or like watching or playing on a games console, I don't know, like whatever it is. If you're feeling lonely at Christmas, distraction is the best thing to do. I think keeping active is a really good thing too, because if you like go out for walks, or like hopefully you have an animal, you can spend time with them. Because I remember in my DBT session the year before, a woman was saying how Christmas was really difficult because she'd lost her husband. and she was saying like, what do I do? Like, I just feel like there's an empty place in my heart and I cannot enjoy Christmas because of it. And they were just saying like, she had dogs and they were like, just go on a massive walk with your dogs. And I know that's not gonna fill the gap, but it's gonna keep you active and it's gonna keep your mind away from everything else. Also, I think if you do something for other people, that's a really good way of feeling good without having to do much, if that makes sense. Like, well, you're doing a lot by helping other people, but like, I think it's a really good way of making yourself feel good in a very authentic way. Like, if you do something for someone else, like whether that's go around and give out mince pies to kids in hospital, if you go and help feed the homeless, if you go to your neighbour's house and you drop round some Christmas dinner because you know that she's lonely too. And finally, there will be always someone who will listen to you. So reach out to anyone at Christmas. I tell you what, I can guarantee if you are lonely at Christmas, there'll be a neighbour, there'll be a friend of yours, there'll be a distant family member who would love to have you at the Christmas table. So don't be scared to like reach out to them and say like, hey, look, I'm going to be spending Christmas by myself this year. Can I come round? Because there's no shame in doing that, because it's just a way to make yourself have a happier day. I just think it's quite important to remember that it's okay to reach out to people even if they haven't reached out to you yet. That's like totally fine. Pretending to be okay. It's okay. Sorry, the lighting is gonna drive me mad. It is okay to not feel okay at Christmas. Oh, I've got pins and needles. That was so dramatic. Oh, I think it's cramp. Yeah, it was cramp, not pins and needles. Oh my God. It is okay to not feel okay on Christmas Day. That's a rhyme. You'll remember it that way. It's okay. You do not have to feel happy on Christmas Day. Just because other people are, it doesn't mean that you have to, and it doesn't mean that you have to force yourself to do that. Forcing yourself to be happy is just going to completely drain you and probably affect you in the long run, because you're going to be so drained from that day that you won't be able to commit to other things later on, because you'll be like, I am so worn out from Christmas. All I want to do is stay in bed. And if you're coping with depression, you know that that's a real big issue for some people, is not being able to get up. So I think to remember that, like I always say, at Christmas you need to find joy in the smallest of things. No, I'm not. Oh my God, as if I just answered that with my fucking Christmas hat on. Jesus Christ, Marie. Getting in the spirit. Another thing with depression and Christmas is, I would say, just remember the vulnerability factors that you might have on Christmas Day. So like, make sure that you've slept the night before, because if you're tired, that will make you more vulnerable to feeling your emotions more intensely. If you're going to drink in moderation, because if you get drunk you might start crying or have a bit of a breakdown, and you don't want that to happen on Christmas Day. You just want to be able to, you know, just drink in moderation basically. I think just remembering your vulnerability factors is so important, because if you're mindful of them, Christmas Day is going to be a lot easier, because you know how to cope with them, and in turn you will have a better day than if you were to just wake up with 4 hours sleep. Like say if you got invited out on Christmas Eve, don't go out because you know that you're going to be hungover on Christmas Day, and that's going to make the day even harder. That's going to make it like 10 times harder. Just don't do it. I think, again, it's okay to leave if you're in a situation where you don't feel happy, or you know that leaving is the right decision. You know in yourself if leaving the situation is the right thing to do. And I think you should always trust your gut at this time of year, because don't trust your mind, trust your gut. And that's the tea. I can't believe I just said that. So yeah, I also think that a thing that I really struggle with, and I don't know if anyone else does, so let me know if you do, but I really struggle with, oh my god, as if she's fucking hoovering. A thing that I really struggle with, and I don't know if other people feel the same or like have experienced this, is comparing my Christmases to previous Christmases and being like, oh, things aren't good this year, but they were 4 years ago, and I was happy when I was 6, and like Christmas was so magical. Like, we're older now. Albie, excuse me. We're older now. We know that the magic of Christmas has kind of disintegrated. So I would say just try not to compare it to anything else, because that's one thing that can really make you feel sad, as if you're trying to recreate a past Christmas, which just isn't going to happen. Nothing can be recreated, but you can start something afresh and it might be even better, or it might be worse, and that's okay. That's okay too. And finally, if you are struggling and say you're a tiny bit younger and your parents are there, tell them. You're not going to ruin Christmas by saying to them, Mum, I'm struggling. Dad, I feel bad. Dad, I don't feel good. All they want to do is to see you happy. So seeking out help and not trying to deal with things by yourself. What do I always say? Problem shared is a problem halved. Thank you very much. It's okay to talk to them and say that you're like, take them to one side and just say that you're struggling, or text them. That's what I used to do. I'd be like, Mum, feeling shit, mate. Can we go home? And that's okay. And finally, what I want to say is, I used to think that Christmas time would always be a time where I was either in hospital or in crisis, which has happened like the past 4 years. I've been in a terrible place mentally at Christmas. But things change, and all you can ever do is hope for the best. And that's what's important. If you hope for the best in the future, you can just remind yourself that Christmas Day is one day every year, and it's going to happen every year until you die. This one does not have to be the Christmas. Do you know what I mean? And that's my 2 cents. So everybody, that is my Christmas video. In saying all of that, I hope you do have an amazing Christmas. I don't know if I'm going to see you before the new year. I might check in with a little vlog or something. I'm vlogging today. Yeah, I am wishing you the merriest of Christmas, the happiest of Christmases. If you don't celebrate Christmas and you're still watching this, then thank you very much, and happy 25th of December. I'm gonna love you and leave you. I hope Santa brings you what you want. I want emotional stability. Yeah, I'm gonna love you and leave you. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new and follow me on my socials, and I will see you soon. Bye!